So you find that your boot release lever is no longer releasing the boot on your MG Rover, and instead you always have to use the key to open the boot. In my case it's because the cable which runs up here along here onto the lock mechanism had become detached. So it may be the same if you have the same problem. You can, if we can look in here, just about see the mechanism, and you have a bit of a rummage round and you can just about get your hand and have a look in there, and if you have a bit of a rummage around in here, try and find a long stiff cable, you'll probably find this become detached like this has here, both sides of it. Quite difficult to get in there and work out where it goes back on again. So I think the easiest route is going to be to take this rod off, and to do that we just push that plastic clip back, I believe, and then hopefully the rod should lift off like so. That then gives us a bit more room to manoeuvre this mechanism out from in the boot lid. And to do that we have to remove these two bolts. The plastic cap removes if we lever the plastic away from where the tiny piece of metal pokes through. See that little spot there? So you have to lever the lid of the plastic so the metal disappears inside the plastic, not poking out through the plastic anymore. That's basically stopping the cover from coming off. Then we can lever that cover off. Remove the two bolts with an 8mm spanner or wrench. Then we should be able to push the mechanism into the boot lid and pull it out the other side. What happens is the cable is meant to sit, the outer part on this position, the inner part of the cable on that one, and then that tug basically opens the lock. So what we need to do is put that cable back into position like so. Ball end of the cable goes through that hole there. The outer part of the cable is then got to position so the slot in the outer part of the cable goes through like so. What we've got to do is prevent that cable from coming off again. You can see it very easily just slid out again. So we could possibly squash this metal in, or we could put a bit of maybe some cable ties around the outer part of the cable, clamping onto this lower part to stop it from coming out. Let's try that. So we get a plastic cable tie like this, very small one, and wrap it around like this, so there's no way the outer part of the cable is ever going to come off that metal point again. And if that doesn't come off, then the inner part shouldn't detach either, and hopefully that should fix the lock. Let's put it back together and see. And before you push it all the way back in, it's a good idea to get this rod back in again first. So push it through the first part of the hole, push it through the hole, and then this outer part moves around to hold it in place like so, and then wiggle it all the way back so that it pokes out the front, and re-put the bolts on. Two up the bolts, refit the cover, and we'll test it out. Okay, here goes, and there we go, boot properly working again. So that's how to fix your boot release lever. Thanks for watching, bye.